June bosomede toso dunkono baby a wo bia no ye mo adwoni amo akwaba e aba Sompa television so we eye nwumre nsemu a etwa krenke ya mo mpetrepene mpatra pamaji atum ene akekade asi ani baby a wo bia no nwumre ye bana ye de ababesomo sauti enka Sompa television so a kase ye etwagu Sompa 98.9 FM so wo proni afomantem no mo sawo pono east ya oti enka Sompa 90.7 FM so Santimantem no mpatam nyina emu adehye so tienka Sompa 93.1 FM ensam ye suya nwumre no edos na poso enie se advert ya ye bawo dewro wo TV so enie radio so no Supreme Court mpenimfo akwakotena se fi neko obi bia wo din se wo no otisini twase anase wo sini twemu no nyade a ebema kwan masade no waye bibie wu
asa ensan advert ya yaka ho asem ya no ansam trone bia ka ho asem ya wo kire se ebe ha dwene papapa ya wo se FDA won dwene ho
busa na manfo busa sa nyambia nti hwan ena ebe etua pamu ede ama Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ntetia Sompa FM nsamtwefo ye tete anwumre ene sa manfo bia koye mfisi mu emade dodo no eka ene se Dr. Matthew Poko Prempe na po eno mu fi se Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia eyinu a enkebebo apa yebedi ho nkomo
Ora Joshua Alabi 2024 campaign team manager de ma NDC no ana watch se afia bato ya bato no na form tras hawo enti NDC enkeka won ho
ya tese omo ye lab wa ya sabia hodo wo Ghana members ya kostrake no mo kasa so mu fi se Fair Wages and Salaries Commission mpenimfo buo bi emo mo ntina ma wo etusa na mo
ankane adundum ya asa se amane muso no ana wasofo ye ohwo ma Ghana nyina ma wodem sem so Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe kopie mu ewo mrashebe dofie ya wode nsem bi akotuja
eneso ye dembe ko finance ministry ya tese ye papa ye Dr. Eduana ne yantwi pani a ono sese Ghana members onim kadan pa wono no ne dom esa so koi ne kosi senie ye be ko mo nchani no makwa akodi nkomo
afai ngomasua ho ensemu kane mampanyi ye John Dramani Mahama na ebo eye Christian Service University abaso fa na motuo ne modern bo won bobo ewo ngomasua mu
observe weni afufro pinu an ya kekese ye ne se kase ba bia wo bia na nwumre ye bana ye de ababesom ye mfaseda ema enwumeku akese
21st clinic ye sciatica expert se wo kwa wo sciatica ya de no wo boto ase de afiri wo ama ho atowo express group say so be say wo to kwan na akwantuo ne ye woda wo say wo do baba dom wo ma akwantu sam wo futuo nyina da wo de be ma opa afai 3 herbal center wo de 3 core capsules koko master draw no ede aba mizo and 5G drinking so atayachi ya da mo nyina mo aseda mo ase awoso ya wani nyimeko awodo a won madoma so ase ya da mo live Facebook ne Sompa 93.1 and na YouTube no aye Sompa TV aye ma remfi wajon kira na sensusuye no what the for the my brepam ya back kan dia ma afai ensam no nyina den samfo panyine kuche what the akogwa ba frontenta fidie no so aye www.sompaonline.com wakwa ensam no nyina obenya bi no akenkan akenkan for ye na wukuei kwaku ne akua daya tena sene ya back kan sam yi adiama mo ayeme akosia ajewa kwade boaten mene
nana ya abo amalibi aboga
esemni
for your sense na said ye from my Ghana ye court Batan Supreme Court na Food and Drugs Authority mpenimfo etebiri we kra de Ghana made she bi no mu a wo mo ewo wodi kakra se wo ya no wo sini twem na se bia wo te sini twa se sa no a ye ni nimu mo tatete TV so no ne ade ade o mo tebiri asembi e de koda my Ghana ye court Batan Supreme Court se o mo se Food and Drugs Authority mpenimfo a etwaniti afra se FDA fo edem na bia ba so mo makwan emefi na ko bi bia owo ding se wadosuko wo sini twem anase bia wote sini twase emebo ensa ho dawuro se ya petese se ya VC10 se ya bonsam sakre anase bia moti adwonso oya ne betena bonte so wo bo ho dawuro se ya TV so anase radio so a ebenam sa ye so amamanfo agitwi akwakonom sa ne ma no monte ase ema sade ne enkosenam so ema ye nuanom no mo wodin no ante ase ema mo tabiri asam ne de kodan court se be ya court enchirechirim no mo ma ba mu ntesetesem no mo efise sa na mo no a FDA Food and Drugs Authority mpedimfo A2 no eti oh my god ya mamra constitution ene amamra ne nchiama no ene asem o ma twe man so o court wa apututu you akoso ene we bonu nkro na we de ne de ekosia na we de ne de ekwakobo ha ene oh my god na court batai Supreme Court no etena se a wono mo abu asem no mo bu ase o mo ade omu humfum so bia ya Food and Drugs Authority mpedimfo ya enu nti no wo se eye ye movie stars ne ye staff we o mo etabiri sa asem ne beda Supreme Court no enu nti ene Chief Justice ma me get to talk no ene na judge for a kan ho tena asem ne so no omo ese omo fi se ne kwan so ano no say Food and Drugs Authority mpenimfo ebe hye so omo makwan ema ye nuanom a omo ewo wodin so ya ne so otwa sini so otisini twase so adosu ko sini twam won ko bonsa ho dewuro e TV so anase radio so ema ne nko echese enko hye nkoda ne maya ne maba wano kutupa ema mo nko rensa nko trotro enko fa yade emeto wono mo eso na mra court no bu asem ne wie no omrenimfo okoko ede ema FDA echeche nsem say de kire
the space of Ghana, yes, but we are dealing with it. It's not all. Once in a while, one of it filters through, but we are dealing with that, and very soon we'll have a clarity on that. With this very decision backing us, we'll very soon have a bit of clarity on that, because some DSU they claim that it is not coming from Ghana. But we know when we watch the World Cup, they never advertise. So that is what will happen in Ghana as well. No matter where you are operating from, once you are airing within the space of Ghana, you cannot advertise alcohol using a celebrity or a well-known personality. So we'll tackle one at a time. So if we know that this is one source, we'll deal with it. If we get to know the other sources, we'll handle them as well.
Observanti we I am running for Kojina Mokoye, Jesena ne ko wuntintin wo court wo nyansem keto a ma Food and Drugs Authority mpenimfo eye opening eye Joseph eye Benny ena yetene nka na nwachire ena owura eye Labaram Musa ono so ena programs director ma Vision of Alternative Development ono so no na ono so tia se FDA fo ade no mo ye no o firi se ntwasumo enesini na aguei ye ntie hunu kodjon cancer le wennom so mo ye sini bio ne nyina akoye concert nkete a o mo ye no social media so no kra no kapre mum sa entinka o mo ye mpetasi eye nsanom ne ade no a so hu na nka o mabobo hu de wuro nom ne ade a ebusia wono so e kire se enei Fuaso, say Supreme Court mpenimfo besi ho kwan say omo enko efise say omo sini twasefo no amanfo fili omo kutadom ne ombeka na amanfo tie ne ombeye na amanfo ekwakodi akiri eje so omo akwa ma makoye nsan advert ya boys ni be rensa ma yade unhu akunkum nkwada ne sa.
Public health have won over interests of some few individuals and who are just trying to amass wealth for themselves and not for the interests of the young people who are looking up to them for their interests. So when FDA have come with this law, we should applaud the FDA and then back them to do more to support public health.
Observanti we eye Labaram Musa Rom Musa hen yete ninken eti Supreme Court mpenimfo agina sie na wo mo asie no oso ofo aso pa sini twasefo no eni sini mufo no wonu munyai so mo mpetese VC10 moti adwonso bonsam sakre no mo bo ho advert ye ho dede aginse wa bro no kra no ebi kra won ka bi hwe da o enum bi da na so obegege ho a na boys so no mo gu ho nom na se nkwan obon se nefu ahye ase ya bonudua ade ya yesi ni kidney asay tumfi se ne kwaso ano no
awusia wasasem ye mu no ora George Kwe wono yansem treni wo magane mu no kire se wo se Supreme Court wakasa de nazo sonia ma bi won ma ano ne won mo nyadwene wo kire mu se ne ye wakwa pinu aso efa so ye boda wuro wo magane mu a eno kra no nkofo haw bi emfa mre mabunu sanso onia no wakaso oba no oba no nye wa advert ya wakaso celebrity no wonya ye no ena bema nipa no wagyae se ensa no wonom biem na momo no na ke betumi ayo ne se celebrate no a ya mama na bebo nsa no ho da wuro no wo betumi kwan po afa kwan bi so nank waka hawa wodo bi betumi di abra babunu se koba se babunu no bia wote saade ne nyina no ye strategy die broni beka ye de ton nsa na se ye de ton nioma e wo ma gane mu na nsa ne nyina no avidi ye fo ahwe no man for money anto antena sia se san de ma we nyina da na asem no ko Supreme Court na fade say na court ka dia ene wone wonom enhyada nya adwen.
Here's a fight that the FDA is losing already. Because if I attend an event and it's being sponsored by, what did you win? If I sit on radio and I read an LPM, what did you do? You understand? And then they would say, you cannot put an alcoholic beverage billboard within 200 meters of a school. When I'm taking my kids to school, do we fly? Do we fly from my house to that school? Do you know the number of alcoholic beverage billboards that I'll see on the road? When we stop in traffic, do I know what my kids are reading? So did you win or lose? It's in the newspapers. My kids will read newspapers. So really, what did you gain? I think the FDA really need to, I think they're in some kind of a box. It would be good if they came out and let us sit, let us judge, and let us find a common ground. Because at the end of the day, they aren't the only ones who have kids. We have kids too, and we'd like to.
And watching Ghana Music Alliance. Apanyi paba kuyo kaho. Ora ni ofuli yati. Waka one more modi asem ne kwa court no ho ye kwa wi akire no ankwa ye papa fama one so kasai ekire na dwenfa ho.
Not to win or lose. The outcome was to have a better interpretation of what we can do and what we cannot do. And in this case, we still don't know what we cannot do or what we can do. So we'll definitely still go to FD and talk it out and see if we can have a better structure of what should be done or what can be done, what cannot be done. I mean, personally, if there was a commercial advertising or advocating for kids to drink, that would not be good, or seeing it in a certain way. But if we can have any other means where we can safely work with the brands without really getting to the kids, that's also fine. So we can definitely sit down with the FDA and see how that can be done.
I will show why Ghana Music Alliance, Panyi Quancho for ya one so what dear Nimubi, or a new fully yati.
I was for yan twa Cassiana so Emma Mona Yamfamon Kwaman, you simo ekakra. She said, near a month for any dakwa ye busa, a brebe, and a Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia, ODMP Piamanyu Kunenim, Edo Makwa Fia Batuono, or de openia, and I said, oh ya, obey ni tia pemuding, ebetu Janomo who ya cro, na omo bia, emwakra, wa ya no edebe boano wa fi abatunum. Se omudi atuja se bosumi dwi ye die na chese kwata Vice President Ed wa ya ne die eba betuja na ene da sore ya yate se BNI mame nkanesa se be ya mobeti ase ne yesi asese omudi a ye from National Investigative Bureau NIB na yese wonoma ye mfifi mu na omo mfifi mu a wonoma ye no ene Ghana for dodo a omo ene omadi nkomo na ase dodo no a efili Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe, Emrasive Genio, Womanasive Gefima, Desia, Omensia, South Abaton Pesia, so ya Enei, was out here Ghana, ye energy minister, no, be an impending fortress, can afford to do no Mudim Comono, Dodonwa, ya kwaku feel you run say, and ka Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia, ni send running mate ya, and ka ebebwa, Sasa being to Yakwa Manoso, Yane Professor Smart Sapon, Aquakudin Como, Reye, Ayubia. Wachra de Kumasi Technical University esa so a senior research fellow na no mfifimu ebeto dwase Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia asa manfo fidi no da no dege no France bebre echen kanema mpedi dada John Dramani Mahame ene MPP ne NDC hunsensemi papa ne die animu mo yeye yene nkudi asemi ho nkomo prof memo adwo
yenia mejo so minia
na mejima di se ho ye
Radia dom mo de ache me gide se mo so mo ho ye
ye de radia se odom for de ache yen sa eya onwanwa na ye bie 94 eke ebisa omo ma yen Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe nipa over 5,000 omo eni omo kasa ye no emu be 76.2% if he say enkono no mum ebeye running mate e de ma Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia enkebe boa esen obi ti say Dr. Oseya Waduchuma oyebosumtwe MP Education Minister Apostle Dr. Opoku Onyina ene Honorable Brian Champo eya onwa say we eba bontin say yana
good Pamendo ase na me fanchi akese mabusuafo agimre tie ye nyame anim ni entimi enye me nwanwa hwehwemu de eya na emma idea about senia efa binom adwenkyerɛ ɔmo na sɛ wopɛ sɛ ɔte sɛ nkwan so ɛda sɛbio ɛnyia sɛ ɔbɛnom nkwan ne nyinaa ansa no wate saa fa korɔ no a wode atere ne bɛsa no dɛ no ɛtumi ma wo idea bi ɛfa sɛnea nkwan ne nyinaa mu dɛ no ɛteɛ ɛno ne ehwehwɛmu mfaso a ɛwɔde ma yɛn a yɛbɛsɛ sɛ bra no yɛ ana ɛtiefoɔ nte aseɛ saa ma yɛn nti wei ɛyɛ nhwehwɛmu a mode aba a ɛkyerɛ Ghanafoɔ fa bi wɔn mu adwene yɛ ɔmo sɛ nea ɔbɛboa ɔpani Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nke bi a kɛbɛboa si ticket no ɛma ɔmo ntoabɔ ɔmo bɔ ne sɛ ne mu tɔn ɔmo ani sɔde hu nanka akɔyie who am I to disagree? In fact, utie party for no I think say me name hwehwɛmu no so many party for na kasa so many Ghana for nya na kasa ya but utie party for no edin a party for mpanimfoɔ ne bobɔ no me no nyina anim sɛm sɛ edin Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe no ɛwɔ mu dendenden pa edi mu ntintiman pa eti hwehwɛmu bia ebe confirm sa public knowledge no I think say na yɛ consistent na ɛne sɛ nea ɔmanfoɔ bebree no ano ɛkeka no ɛyɛ adwene saa nso na nhwehwɛmu bi ba sɛ bi ɔpɛni yɛ wɔde twum anaasɛ ɛdin aka ɛka ho no nso a me ɛnyɛ me nwanwa because ɛyɛ sɛ nea ɔmanfoɔ no adwene yɛ ɔmo no ɛna nhwehwɛmufoɔ no kɔ abɔnten ne ɔmo kɔkasa a ɔmo bɛkyerɛ ɛde akyerɛ nhwehwɛmufoɔ ɔmo de ayɛ ɔmo report sɛnea ebi da yɛ anim anwummerɛ yɛ a yɛ discuss no nti for me ɛnyɛ me nwanwa it fits into the general knowledge.
Na wohwɛ BNI for and I say NIB for omo survey no a omo fi say omo ne NPP delegate MPP for na ekasa ye MPP for the omo peno no na say Ghana for so no empene so e
so MPP for no asan ye Ghana for omo say omo nuanom e the other side NDC ni ade but obefa Ghana ni bia no apart from obia sabio osoma na gidie bi nti no onya amanyosema na onto aba fani nyina akwakoye anye MPP ebe NDC ana parties ahodo no aka nti ye fani so muso me Ghana fo no abia na so ye party delegate ya aya na me de afutu ametade tu saafo no ne se so mu kire o madwena o mu kire both the party thinking and then the general Ghana for the one so no much or thinking and so your party delegate bia researcher we move for bi ba wo a aya na adaroma o kire ne aya o there as party ni no na wasanso akai sebio abato no enje party for nkwa na ekwa akoto me hwehwemu a mede ba ye no na only 19.7% are going to vote because of a party or NDC ninti no okoto or MPP ninti no okoto. Okay. But now a good number of the people who use 19 something is in Kenya, almost about 70% were going to vote based on competence and track record. Competence and track record. You know, and a party for a Ghana for if you imagine Ghana Ghana for be no so but now the first way to say if you move for party for more kasa, I am more far more dear as party. And sans one fat Ghana for so the enemy so if I take a decision. Because of that, I want to believe say party for the Casa idea, but they spoke also for the one Ghana for no so near so
Nti prof I say no BNI for edisa survey we about to jano na just say compulsory by force to say kwambia so Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia oyi Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe napo as no running mate na
there be that enye compulsory in fact prerogative no a yedi ama openi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no prerogative bi a say odwene hu yie na research be say no boa ma no idea boa adwenjene no but enye no na ekosi gina ye na ma no kire say so person wu ni omanfo no so adwenkire ewo ngira ye say na wu tie ni mu a say na omanfo no so adwenkire it doesn't mean say sabio jai wo consultation le jai gina sie na ehotumi ye de ahye wonsa no na betie ni akyenkyena ni omanfo no eka enti media sami tufu a meka say ane ni omanfo no eka no must be factored into decision no openi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia eba taking no, but it shouldn't be like the 100% position. Yes or no openi na nkasa de asemba obeka say media nyesa na mkayo na na amanfo na say mefa we mani ade ha. He should be extremely responsible to the name he is going to mention, even though they be able to say yeah unti no amanfo no so kan fanka ho no. So timidi insist in boka say ane say ma twenche no amanfo de yepo say no amanfo de na nyepo nipa we na me feel say in terms of competence and track record obetimi ababebuame in addition to near party for super no say na yina yenim.
Prof we dey eja kwa mo akwa kabosumi be nsia na ye kwa akoto aba yenhwe survey foforo bi anim emfamfiri wone wapamfo ho no mo ana se de mo de baaye no ye de enu ana ye kwa akoto aba yi.
Well survey a bi anim ya nyame adom ochane ne kinachi ya no eno so te se nia National Bureau of Investigation for ayeyi eno so na me hwe se me de no de me to ne dey expectation survey. So what are the people expecting from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? And also to say Osha ese nia na before ayeyi enti nyame adom a enkosi fiada and also wants to so beto jafo just the discussion and I make earlier say yem be say be kire Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nia onye, but this is just to give a feedback as to what the people are also saying. Enti no na ye ni ya e fa no general elections the end there send ya wonim no ne edi kan ba na baseline survey eno no as at April 31st send ya na omanfo na dwene ye omofa amanyo sem ne amanyo kuo no ho eno no sisi eno enkoti be ya July ending eko August no na send ya nyina ate no NDC ate campaign team kama MPP for upon to NDC born to a party so aka nyina de omutia no mu akeka bia kama na Africa August no ya hwe midline survey say infinifini mu no say na Ghana for adwene ye omo na nka breba mu a by early November, first week of November no ya de nia friend and last one credit ba na fe osum ba ko amanyofo no de ahwe at one amount na fe ya hwe say nia exercise the body no in terms of research perspective.
Mate. Prof, mamina wasi enyumre ye jankomo we yeguso ayeko en medu baby na ebre yen so ebesa so obo pian ewie enyumre ye dase. Why?
Bedase me nya me nshamo.
Ya mesusu nsira wo. So Professor Smart Sapon ebusianfo eni na kwakodi nkomo no research fellow, senior research fellow Kumase Technical University ena yete nenken.
Professor Joshua Labi aya afi campaign team manager de ma NDC amanyoku no na wode atudwa atrasa se wo hwa afi abato no sane enioma sitie no a enya se ya beta sa sane NDC fo hu no wo se wom Ghana fo dodo no a NPP aban ho afono wo mo ya wo nya wo bato aba no watia no de na soso se NDC amfomu na nsi fom no matena se mo motirem ye mo de ade hiregu wo no ho tena se ye nhwe han a ahwa enioma batumi afa wo no mase enam saya sunti no enioma ahodo ya wo mo so mbatum di agu akwam ayese wo mo se akwakofa the afimpi mienu ni nwotwe 2008 one more year ya se wo mwerwe fiefie mu ene adehia no kasa ya ka NDC tirimu po a kire wo mo ma ne ba mu no wo mba wasa sabe pe no mbatumi ya sane be ya NDC besan so adi nkuni mafia anya sa pade a enioma ebe formasi
meda former president Obama beda that 2020 no oye ni campaign manager apart from that no the plan is do a year recently no Obama ye campaign manager. So, and for the 2024 election, we are now confident of I am in your presidential campaign manager. So, she are no, then I design a program. Now, program it includes more radio station because this time around, you know, we are more and the democracy about welfare. Ukoto banchi ya misumitobi, ukoto petrol ya misumitobi. Nchi yelesha welfare ato abano. Njili se uwa usuwe bwami paa ya tumai na yelesi jana yi. Nchi very soon ubeti yencha. The campaign will be very well started. Mwaba will say development of all the campaigns are Media in fact be say complete. Now we call exams now we see we a first class to us. And just a one and everything obey piano. And we say you have to add on the current government of more from people that is very true. But for now, we got that one year anything happen and so you best consider that being restore power to save this country from where the economy. And me can say that and dusted. No, you come to the meaning say by the grace of God this year.
I will say why Ayora Joshua Alabino no why 2024 campaign team manager dema NDC.
Na yedemo call oswafo he my Ghana ya won in hon sensem Dr. Matthew Puku Prempe na tena yenra wone na pamfo ne na tena ye no ya mamre ne amane omo ne nyumeku akese be 9 ekosensan contract ya omo atude nse Petroleum Hub Development Corporation ene se former ngonu a otwedi amponya nkrompon base yadoma ohata mununkumachi ototorobo nso tonso ba wi obotantemu a ode yafa dum ne mununkum girema tata ede adom ye we yensa senase ene yensu ase no ene kwase etino no mo hwe ne trasa wa bra yentuo emeso emanfaso emfa emomeye empenimfo sese ye no wono echese ho kanko a ene number $60 billion ya sa nyumeku be 9 no a omo ene omo akwakose contract ya omba be hyase ye ho adwuma no omo de be $12 billion ene ba aba be hyase aye ho adwuma se be yo no man ne ebenya so mfaso enam so opani bi a wabene ye pa e wa honene ho nsensem wakase mpunepuno wakase nhye e opani Samson Ade we senior research fellow or Chamber of Petroleum Consumers yene no edin komobusa ne se sa contract we ene sa nhye we ya Dr. Matthew Puku Prempe ene energy ministry no ne aban akwa kwahye edemo abeba na en watche so bebo ru anabaso evize yensusu papa ene na muntuo papa na Dr. Matthew Puku Prempe ene energy ministry no omatu ede amomeye na se ye yemani akoho ye de ntutu egu akwamu a emfaso pinu a ene de ebebre omanyi
ebe 2018-2019 thereabout and aban no share obeye defense petroleum hub na petroleum hub ni nyina yeste ye pe babia na se bia ye be ye hono petrol ni manko a bia o petrol bia no obenye bu hono na be ni kase ti aban no yese obe that time no be pe refinery the be refinery 150,000 barrels per day. But also the new 12 billion a year deal abana. This time no a 3 refineries ebema 300,000 barrels a day ebena ne fango honum. And now is so ebema a 5 petrol car plant. And now a year na horizontal e be develop project need to be e be win 2036 at me year dia be bia na e fa oil South Africa had pa. E ho na be ne kase fa e be be a year fango hu komodi ni dem na honum. E sikano e ba no Sankobi and any abaya Kambumna, a money classical $12 billion abaya. So you are Jumedino, a year and Conquerant Tika, Dance Tika, and a necessary can inquire a service possibility to be back going forward because a year refining of a year 300,000 barrels per day. A man was a year Togo, a year Benin, a year Cote d'Ivoire, any Burkina, or Munano, Motan, Abanano, Hasea, a Butika, aside that, you a year byproduct, a free a year refining muba the bois taking the mama a year mebulo the bois economy ubenya ne mebi say a bitumen the fence quota the final from refining ubenya ubenya a pesticide ubenya fertilizer ubenya a plastic material e ne mebi a betumi aboa ni ne bekete aduma the bois economy no nti e dia e ye ni na se the sana be kore dia e wi anfaso be be broma e obi a benya anfaso ni be but contract na minister no abena bi a movement na wonu na no nya the integrity the shoma by the public private partnership another boa bia e ba say influence aban kwa ne heso e na conference no go kwa ne heso e omu ni na akabo ma obi ebenya paso bi
Observer Samson Ade ene yetene nkan
Oro kwajo opon kroma yesuafo ye ohra dansie ni nyuma ho ansam so no kroya woko ofo sia yebi abatompa so wona amra shebedwani elho wona nsamtwofo akasa atrese wo magana saglemi affordable housing project no one matia sam dode afri mu pa asɛm dane sɛ ɛnɛ yi no Ghana ban ahyɛseɛ yi a wabɔ mmɔden sɛ wɔbɛtumi awie koraa ama adehyeɛ nom atumi anya mu kwan na sɛ ebere koraa no wɔyɛ kasa yi no wɔne nnwumakuo bɛyɛ sɛ dubi ɛna ɛde nkɔmmɔ yɛ nnɛ yi wɔn nyinaa agye atom yɛ mu wɔ pɛpa so mbaboa ama yɛ kukuru deɛ sɛ wɔ sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na Ghana adehyeɛ nom a wɔn nipa bi da wɔn mu pɛ baabi na wɔn saa affordable house ne adeɛ yi wɔn atumi akɔ mu nyina da no wɔn atumi aheha wɔn ɛbra yɛ rɔkɔgye ɔpɔn kroma wɔn nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ ɛkasa no nsɛm deɛ ɔboro so paa.
You're correct. As I mentioned earlier, we announced a process through which government will select a private developer or a consortium of private developers to complete the uncompleted Saglemi affordable housing project and operationalize it. Now, you recall that government initially took a loan of about $200 million to build 5,000 housing units. 1,506 were partially completed, and that's what you often see at Saglemi. 3 major components that were missing: water, electricity, and sewage works. When the Ghana Institute of Surveyors did the assessment, they said we needed about $100 million to complete this 1,506. And government took a decision that within the difficult financial constraints, it's very difficult to find that extra $100 million after $200 million has been spent. So cabinet took a decision that we should select a private developer or a consortium of private developers and let them make the investment in it so that we can operationalize it. And you are correct. A couple of months ago, we issued a request for proposals. To date, I am briefed that about 10 companies, international and local, have expressed interest, have picked up forms, have been taken to the project site. They have had the opportunity to inspect work that has been left there so far, the necessary dilapidation reports, and they are putting together their proposals. According to the work plan that we put together, by the 8th or on the 8th of July, we expect to formally receive all of the bids. We'll do it openly in front of all of you. And then we will hand over the bids that we've received to an independent evaluation entity, which will give us an evaluation report. And then based on that evaluation report, government will proceed to select one of the bidders. It may be a single entity or a consortium of entities. And when that selection is done, we will get the necessary cabinet approval.
So why oro kwajo opon kroma no wosofo ya wo hwadan sie ene nyuma ho nsem so
sie ne mo kase ye nuanom mo ye adwuma wo ye asabia hodo no ansa na doctor befiri wo no wo mo na doctor be hyese ko no mo nchen na ekoye lab na sa lab no a obekọ no akọ na doctor ne behuna de cropoti a eteti wo na eku a ebegina so ama ebia watwere duro anase wetimi ahwe wo ye na sa medical laboratory professional workers union for ye ka om ho asemi enedua yi omo ade omo nkuku na omo kaka nyina agufo mu a sie ne mo kase omo tifie edi omo yerenom aduane na omo kire se besi na ye ne mo ekase yi onom adwuma na omo eye no omo nseda ennim adwuma no akechi abosome so ede bema no enwanam a ewo wo adwuma wo ye no ho ene empo se odonfo ye na doma ma na akọpensi wo adwuma no mu a de wo se ede ma no nyina no se omo nhyede ni nkrata pa ba bi ada ho no mu a wo ma bonu a ama fe wages ni mpedimfo eso atwitwi o mani se penimbo ne bi a wo yin from abonu wo VIP bus ma wo mpe ho asem mu a ene mpeso matena se aka asem no se de ku o mokra eye se agese fe wages for no ante se wo mo bekeka o mo ho aba be ye kira na se omo abeka so mo tirubu ho se wages for se onye nie mo mra ne entra se nkodi nkomo omo so makoma to omo yam na asade no mo adwene ye afiri so pe na je so matwitwi o mani o mo mpe ho asem nka omo se saade no ene eku omo sese ya sa strike we o makono so man tena fie anka omo nsem nyina ama be anya wo amanya ma omo a omo enko adwuma ne nkomo enko adwuma china opani o ye twotwofo opani de ma wonum eye sefas kofi akoto ne nsem nie
wages is not being fair. Wages should have been a bit more proactive in their engagement because we are essential service workers. We should not be treated like any kind of people. Fair wages has always treated us with contempt. If you check the history of our negotiations, at any point before fair wages will engage us, it has always been out of protest. We've never written to them requesting for a meeting, and fair wages will act upon that. And at all times, our engagement will take about 3-month cycle. We'll have one meeting today, the next engagement will be about 3 months later, 4 months later. It has not been fair. I would not want to go into media banter with them. What we need is that let us engage at the negotiation table. We can delve deeper into the issue because it looks like people are trying to put some information there to look to make their case look very good. We are not interested in that. We want our people to be free in their mind. So when they are turning to cases, they will not report wrong results because we are scientists. We need to be clear in our mind in everything that we do. Fair wages should have known better that the kind of promises they gave the Labour Commission is not what they delivered at the last. Yes, we the leadership currently, we are handicapped. We are seriously. And that is what has led to this. We are trying our best, but I prefer that up to this point, fair wages could have.
Abzanfo nti we ayora sefa skofi akoto ono ene ye church for Penedima Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union for
Dr. Matthew Poko Prempe ayaso for your show magana nyina mahoden wonsam so wakopie mu wamra shebe de fia kwakoyi nsam bia no ya ne nyina no afọ man no kanea ya nansen ahyase ya preso dumso ewo mayi mu eno no panye pai kwakokire mu se wenya dumso se ne emre bi ya twamuo andi si apaso Ghana fo hunu yem no na wo mu de ne ya hronkokora ye no wabeka ne se transformers ne bie no ana won monya technical challenges wo ho kakra na no kura ampo no siesie guso da ya ekoso enti obesere Ghana fo so obi bia da obeka se dumso no yensin hu.
We are pleased to provide the following response to the urgent question. No, ECG is not undertaking load shedding as at the time the question was asked. So, Speaker, consumers were experiencing outages due to a number of factors. That included localized outages due to overload on lines and transformers. So, Speaker, there are certain areas in this country that all of a sudden the number of people resident or the businesses that have accumulated, especially I can give an example of parts of East Legon, which was a purely residential area, now has become one of the major business districts, increasing power consumption, thereby hampering the existing lines there. So the transformers and the lines have to be transformers. At the time, the question Sompa, without leak, which meant a complete shutdown. Losing immediately 340 megawatts. That also contributed. And then, last but not the least, planned maintenance on our Mandi power plant was also ongoing at the same time.
Dr. Matthew Poko Prempe ya tene kano Express Group de wo to kwan. Ahena peso ko Canada na US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, baby bia da pesa wo ko bia no. Hwehunu sa kwantuo mu afutu sam de. Wobakwa Express Group nchen na wo mu wadi nkomo. Afei, wo mo sa bo ma onkrata asem nyina no aye new dia ma opa. Kumasi wa wasafu Labour runabout and crying. Obahu wa mo kaneshi first light one mo atema community 18 la Shibigori filling station ho e won so honum. Fra 0249 000448 0249 000448 21st clinic ya sciatica expert say wo sciatica ade nyina no wo de kwa abusua wobeto asiade afri honum nyame adom so branches no bia no mu bia 15 branches ene akirei wo so de na ha wo to asentini ehwe wo ade aba na amuro ye wo so obi na aba odua wonan mu ye odudu jon ba bia anyia hwase obekọ 21st clinic nchen adokotafo no aben wo mu anim de mapasa wo abotere wo nipadua na kwa no ho se obetumi ahwe papa apa kuma se wo hwa overseas junction wo ban for radio Obuasenso obehu omo Council Quarters Court Junction ankra wodom market na sunyana nkranza tachima no so behu womo fra 0540 311 311 0540 311 311 Mizo and a 5G drink etayechi anono dia wodin wom na tiapo a birthday party ana woto abetumi anya mizo ibi sade abeya abeboa mo hoho ni nyina no wonu mani mu aye kama pa afei wade na wo ye apono to bia da ye twedom bia no hwe se mizo ana 5G drink ewom ashankafo wade amudie mu 5G ne beboa mo papa demu ni nyina da wo ntebre fra 0246 270221 0246 270221 3 Herbal Center aye 3 equal capsules ahe na abanya biato kolena Herbal dan Herbal Mr. Herbal apidan kokko abisa se mo be kokko adro tata hwe no aye 3 equal capsules wati usisi ade ne bekọ wayam timo ne bekọ kokko no kra de bayara kra aye nsan so mabiem 0546 107 107 0546 107 107 I was so ya jana we so ya ton kratel ya ba pinua ena kechi
21st clinic yes sciatica expert sciatica no o nerves na wo to ase na fa wo siremu na fa wo nansia besi ase ho no se ho techema eno ene ye fa ne sciatica na etimi bubu o to ase ka wo se dwe wo sirem wo je wo ba bia enye na no na 21st clinic ba ya adwuma pa wo mu ye ntia baso bo ma gine wo Ghana ha ene amono ne enya asem ketua Womuji international awards ahodo womuji local awards ahodo na anu nso na womu be the only sciatica research and treatment center in Africa bibrim hano ebi ni baby a gise 21st clinic nkwa womu de bibiduro ene besa o yare no masa de machine aka ho eya yare sabia yare bia wutimi de ko ne mama ade ba ko a woma gidi womu pa no eye sciatica ena stroke nso de kwa diabetes ne hypertension ne ade ne ade Ghana ha ba bia womu ho 0540 311 311 0540 311 311 That's a 21st clinic. Woman is sciatica expert.
Introducing Mixer 5G Sparkling Drink, a whole new refreshment in a can. Mixer 5G is a tasty non-alcoholic drink. It is a perfect companion for all your events, including parties, weddings, and funerals. It is made with green tea, ginseng, guarana, grapes, and grapefruit. Get refreshed with Mixer 5G Sparkling Drink. For bulk purchases, contact 0246 270 221. This advert is FDA approved.
Brakasa ye duabon waso a ne dwumedi wo nipadua biara pomden ene na brabo mu ne hienye pa enye brakasa nko nuaban ne haban bi te se ko nsusu a abonwono ne dia akeka ho no kura enwanunu ahodo a ekọ animu yi ankasa brakasa ne sa nuaban bi nom ne akeka bobudi afa abefo kwan so a ye de aye brakasa powder siesi nipadua na aba akwa ahodo no ho ban afri mpani yade ne yade ahodo pi ho fa enkodate de ma baako freduane anopa ne anwumre anafa enkodate de ma baako woni sushie yeti anopa ne anwumre wobra wodidi awie ubenya brakasa powder to Kingswalk Herbal ne Heroes Herbal Accra Okesi Drug Lane Dani Herbal Kumase Mensa Takrade Mose Pharmacy ne Greenlight Pharmacy Sunwane Cash and Carry Supermarket Asantoa Herbal ne Bibidro Depot Techiman Sewa Herbal Mampong etufo mfre 0550 19 1514 brakasa powder aduane san yedro FD ahwehwe sankratu mu agi atom
Sompa TV Emma Aketiapa
Abzafo esaso mama kwa babio eba Sompa television enwumre kase so yento aso emfa emmamo enche bia na ban eya nhyehyese se o man Ghana de no ho kwa kofa ma yemefofo mo twesika aba beso ya cinema boyam yesika sem atoto ye nansana na IMF obeji atuma ma sesika na wo so mo de banatima ba bedro no o ma edemra na nhyehyse bi ma Ghana ban se wonye ebi any debt restructuring ne debt exchange program wa o ma ede koma ban wi ase na nipa binu a ɔmo sika akɔ didi banks bi na kyɛ sɛ so akɔ akɔtete deɛ ne deɛ so akam ɛmɛ ho manso wɔn atwe ya de besi ne na saa nkrofo we ya wɔn sika akɔ didi aban hɔnom no maka ɔmo abom article a friend say locked up investment bond holders forum a Dr. Edua na ne yɛntwi Ghana ha sɛ deɛ ɔne da kapa onim ka dan ya sa aban do ka ko no bedane simple waje esoso edi amount ye merewa ne de ono ane di animu a bibia kɔbɔkɔ gide ma wonum nkrofo ba ko iso no a sese wono asoso no te ho soso ne de kakra ho no ma odi animu na ene na wɔtwe etoso miensa yes na eyo mo ko baako ekomienu ekomiensa nane ye toso miensa wonoma akotena finance ministry wonomo a anoma bakra mehwe wonum anim abechia wo ma mo munsuanom anti wonum na Dr. Edua Nanantwi eka ne nsem sei ede kire yen
no message, no information at all whatsoever from the ministry has been received. As we have told the whole world, we will be picketing every Wednesday until our demand is met. Demand is for the Minister of Finance to make financial provisions to enable the Bank of Ghana to revoke the licenses of 4 insolvent financial institutions, namely NBK Financial Services, SIC Life Savings and Loans, Bond Savings and Loans, and SGC Financial Services. According to Bank of Ghana, they have become insolvent and their licenses must be revoked. The Bank of Ghana maintains that before it revokes the license, it requires the Minister of Finance to make financial provisions so that they can pay deposited funds, just as they paid in 2017, 2018 when they revoked the licenses of some microfinance, financial houses, and savings and loan firms. So that is basically our demand, that Bank of Ghana is waiting for the Minister of Finance to make financial provision so that they can revoke the licenses of these 4 institutions and pay depositors, just as it did in 2017, 2018. But we can't say that. We don't also know whether they are there. If you meet them, then you ask them that question. But for us, we are going there. If they don't meet us to tell us exactly what.
I'm going to way Dr. Edu Anane Enchi and Yetine Kento Omwa Omusika Akwaku Dimun way and then I watch a tosso miensa. Onoma akohonomo anoma bakrensi honomo amemo matching put them peso amomunsianom and a Jordan arehwo ebobone nsem so de kire ye no
Afeye kwansan fofomu kanema panyi Rajon Dramani Mahama and Ebo Christian Service University abaso efa modern one to ho ache ya won moto besen finhia aduonum enie wose suku yi ba ye won ma yade pa sanka ankrankra suku yi etete adehye ema won ba ya kendifo ne animdifo mapano Christian Service University won mo kan ho papa ya won mo esafata abasobo wore sanse wenyina to dwa ba ene no wokasa ewo won mo finhia aduonum wanum anya ho ye Rajon Dramani Mahama.
I wish to congratulate this institution for attaining this milestone and acknowledge the significant contribution that you have made over the years to academic advancement, not only in this region but the nation at large, the knowledge sharing and the provision of quality human resource that you continue to produce for our nation's benefit. This program with its team demonstrates your commitment to stimulating important discussions that can influence thinking in governance and nation building. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you on this subject. I firmly believe that democracy is the surest path to sustained progress and development for Africa and particularly our country, Ghana. And this belief has driven me into my active involvement in democratic pursuits and governance in various capacities for over 3 decades, from the grassroots to the highest office of the land. In 6 months, we'll go to the polls for the 8th consecutive time to elect a president and 276 members of parliament. This will mark 32 years since the first election was held under the Fourth Republic. And this is the longest sustained period of democratic governance in our nation's history. Late last year, over 6,200 assemblymen and women, and even more unit committee members were elected across the country.
And watching Professor Edward Brenya, where Panyapaya Department of History and Political Studies here working UST, Wadano, one of the Kakra Etuaso.
As a political scientist and educator, I believe strongly in arming the people with requisite knowledge to enable them to make informed decisions to change their life and their environment. This is why I am thrilled with the topic for this lecture chosen by Christian Service University, and more importantly, the choice of a speaker to deliver this lecture, because he comes to the podium with politics practicum. The speaker is not going to lecture us about theories, but real-life practical and impactful lessons on what Ghana has done, what Ghana is doing, and what Ghana should do to protect our democracy. Secondly, the speaker is someone who is an embodiment of Lincoln's definition of democracy, who believes in the definition and who can be trusted to deliver Lincoln's conceptualization of democracy. On this note, and with all due humility, I accept to chair this august and important public lecture. And I encourage you to listen attentively so that you can obtain the requisite knowledge to make informed electoral decisions in the 2024 general election to sustain our democracy.
Professor Edward Brenyano no University eho anodini juma.
Emraso ejani owo mraso ejefiema de year was a hwi oso abaton pese aso Dr. Kwaku Afriye. Odi ade sere tunu nuano mraso ejafo anim se nani kire ya omo enye ntotoye na affirmative vaccine bill ya edi mfie pi mraso ejafie mu ono mo a de bia ye mprekoto so preso a omo hwenye ntumu no mo nya wo adwuma ntem na omo entime enye ntum.
And as I speak to you now, certain countries that are even call themselves developed and progressive do not have compulsory maternity leave. Mr. Speaker, I need not remind you about the health insurance scheme that has given equal rights to women as far as health is concerned and has protected their reproductive health and given children what the secure that they demand. Mr. Speaker, women have made a lot of contribution to society. My mother made even more sacrifice than my father as far as we being here. And the greatest thing that we can do is to go by legislation. So that if you go by the legislation, everything, then society can think through it and then make the necessary rectification. Mr. Speaker, before I take my seat, let me say that women need protection against sexual violence, bodily harm. They need to vote. They need to operate at all facets of public, take every public office, and then also we have to have a fair chance in family law and all those things. Ownership. There's one thing though that is lost on Ghanaians. Ghanaian women have progressed a lot. When you take in the area of ownership of businesses, that is the small scale and medium scale businesses, Ghanaian women are far ahead.
For your Brasil Jenny or Woman's Fima, this year was Seshio so abaton Persia, so Dr. Kwaku Afriye and at Yetening King.
I was so ya tour and some so a day a mamma a bra sebu kwamanka si about tour and perso so at the ship binimo one so aka sapa papa ama a nay one more air ball or henny front of son near bois ya what tosumbi no abaso one much was so and nano at to watch a modern bo ya just an anisan ye civic woman so I when the crone shore Yamino quasemni ayana safata pa now a ma he near crampoa ya corner ye dese will be a double to me as na etumi aboa ma ye kro ne ye man etumi atumpon na PTA chairman ya wono adakura ya fra ne sa tatakasum ye no ewo abrasebu kwamankase abato mpaso so ora Evans pencil wone yamane boni Eric anan atwetwe nkomo ema wacheche mu dientia enei womde abasobode ema wo hene
teacher sene bahama na woko one day teachers in the multiple before my never kakabashi will play. Until two papa name there, Omamazimo boy and teachers' quarters. That's something name with the 3 months. Napapanazi blog not Buguamo. Yaman child shed, then we see your I hear often Yanji. And what come ahead, Hano, on them there, the maid teachers' quarters and teachers walk on. Oboboy teachers our back school. Not at the same time, Bosuno san. I hear you you tia dus nka kan krebi. Da me yame adma obi fiwo.
Afei ora kwasi adu ya wono. Aya wa hene France na ya boa ya otoso mienu ni nua panyin. Wono so akasa na papa ka ho bi won mu a wo moboa na won mo si suku adan ade ama suku no. Wono so akasa kakra de fa semi ho.
Tiba kon wo mu yi de meba ha no. School fu na wo ha no wo de wa bisa ti tu manyim de wo dan. Ti ye boa wo mo rufu dan ni nyina. Wo rufu dan ni wie no. Afi wala school fu no teachers no ba wonya ba bi ntina. Woba no okọ nti dan ya mo hwe ye wo he ode bosome pe ene ye je sesu onue na oguo ya ye je bodo ne ye kurudo na teacher fo no ba wanya ba bi atena mala meba bi ye nya ama wo titika so mo ko school wa bet medwin de emofro ma bi wo ha ode amwo wo da achi bi ene bonwo no wankasa bo utibo wo bo fo enti ye yiri ye wan me na onya busuafo nyina ya kan bom de ode ye si dam dan we di si o tisia no me promise that teacher nyi bi a obe yu de bletika asum no bletika asum ade se wo problem bi mpo a fatumanyim ye ntuma solve problem ni nyina mo kra ye betra ne solve problem bi amo but within 2 months time no e dan yo su ode ye ready na teacher fo no be ye den wo betram
afai tetika asum ade hie won so akasai
teachers quarters ya we sin no kwa emem no wo boy bebre because teachers na wo ban anytime bia wo ba onam de we baby ndenti wo ba na we na wo ko asase no wo ba wo bakada wo katena abakrampa na wo aba school aba ya no so ekwan ne yenti moto na de bia wo ba nti nsu tede ya na moto ozo aba wo bo mu aba na ma wa agi transfer no wo ko nti da me no he adwene pa nti teachers quarters are based on one the no kwa emiem ni obobo ye bebre am teachers no so wetum wa aka
teachers for no ba maso wonye baby egwai papa toilet na adin oha ho nti o mo ba wontum wontina na wa kokurum teachers for so what ha mo so a oye hede ama mofo no otachima na wenhu na wa hwe ho amahin o me yetua bi ni fi na ade o so a ekurase bi hia ho na fi mo from wontum nko school na fi wa ya basa school na ya basa nti teacher quarters na we si na oye hede metre we si teacher quarters na oye me dapa nti wakana ya feel dey mara na mdemika na ya ba ye o sa na se o ti se bi na se ma ye teacher funa wo han se school tompa na wontum won fomoto na wo ma school na ma frama na so wontum won ko school won ko shaade na wa adi shan ya basa abi ba na anse po na school ta ma frama won ko school nti na we si na o ya mdapa ma teacher funa wa aka ha ma abi na abi ya we tum ma frama so eta na mo na wa ko school mu adi shan akodo amahe anya ba atan
Why I had share ya water to casum no I wore a brass sebu kwama kese.
Oza for yenyina hana yensi anche mu pi ne na masese mu nyama de mo da gene mu bringina dom yen na mu fam ye bie na mo de tie yen ye da mo ase na ya sori ama dwumedi aka ba beto aso